tonight I am just having a Mellow Monday. And what is a Mellow Monday? Mellow Monday is I'm literally just being mellow. I have some things I'll be talking about. If anybody shows up, we'll see. Mondays can be kind of hit or miss. I got a haircut. If you guys can't tell, I cut it myself even. But now I'm going to be going over a project that's upcoming. Actually, I'll be starting on it tomorrow. Pretty excited. It's actually a Bowie knife. This is the Bowie knife right here. Doesn't look like one yet, but this is the steel it's going to be made from. This is a bar of 5160. This is also actually my steel from Forged in Fire for my final days. And this is going to be what I use to make the knife out of. And this is going to be a lot of fun to work this. Some memories coming back kind of thing, you know what I'm saying? So that's going to be pretty rad. But for that, I guess that's pretty much where I sit. This right here is actually one of the projects I got coming up. Oh, I got a slow connection. Hang on. Let's see if we can fix this real quick. Okay, we'll try that. Sorry about that. So, as I was saying, I'm making my nephew a walking stick. And this seems like the right thickness. I was thinking I could make like a knob end stick for him. Or maybe just like, I don't know, break it off a little bit. Whatever, we'll see. But I made his mom and dad sticks, and he needs one too. I had some really amazing sticks. I actually had probably over 100 mulberry sticks that were seasoned, and a couple that were like maple, and this, that, and the other. Oh, what's going on? Is that? Oh, we got someone listening. I can't tell if someone, but yeah. So carving is not my strong suit. So that's not actually where I'm at yet with things. But I would definitely like to learn some wood burning. With this seeming like the stick size, I was well, let me show you. I got two. I actually have what I thought was three, but this one, I don't know why. I don't even know why I have that still. But no, I lost about 100 sticks. I was pretty bummed about that. And they weren't all mulberry like I thought they were. I forgot there were some that were like mulberry. But here's some right here, both of these. This one might actually win because this has the better option for the ball end, that really nice knob end. I'll show you what I mean. I think you've seen them, but where'd I put that thing? Oh, SpaghettiOs, right here. But it's got the best option for, like that. And his would almost be like a shepherd's stick. I could make it his height. I'm not really sure how tall I want to make it yet. But no, I wanted to make it one with some mulberry sticks I had. I lost all of them. I was so bummed about that. I don't know why the comment didn't come through as it should. That was so weird. Well, there goes that. I don't know if that glitched out or not, but let's see. Testing. Let's do testing. And then it comes up. Oh, it's so weird. I've never really dealt with comments on the Facebook side of things, and it has very much so its own way of doing things. And obviously I'm very confused, so I don't really know. But anyway, no, like I said, it'd be either this one or maybe this one. But this one looks like it's winning out. It's also, even though it's significantly larger, this one's actually much heavier than that one. I got another slow connection. I wonder why I keep getting a slow connection. But anyway, this one's much lighter, and I think it'd be more fun. He actually was having fun with their sticks that I made him. He was playing with them all over the house. It was cute. So I think I might actually make him this one, and for the size he is, this will work, at least for a little bit. But I can make a nicer ball end on this, I think. Or maybe like they'll do like almost like a block end on it. It depends. We'll see. You never really know until you start working with it, and it'll start kind of telling you what will work. Some say, the stick speaks to them. I don't know if I believe that all the time, but sometimes it does. But anyway, I just wanted to hop on here for a little bit and see how things were going. And, well, that'll be all for this side. I gotta go live on another one. So, bye-bye. Adios. All right. Okay. Oh, to the out there, how's it going? I'm Rachel from Forge the Femme, and I'm talking about some things I got going on. It's just going to be kind of a mellow hangout night. If you guys can hear me, go ahead, give me a like. Hey, if you want, subscribe, because I also go live a lot. I'll start making some videos here in the near future, and it'd be rad if you guys followed along. So if you guys can hear me, let me know. I got this new microphone. It seemed like it was working last night, but I'm still trying to figure out like where to place it and whatnot. Some of the sounds were like kind of sharp last night. Well, when I listened to them today, and I was like, whoa, like kind of like zapping in the ear, pitchy. You know, like what was it? The guy from American Idol. He'd be like, no, man, you're a little pitchy. So yeah, I was a little pitchy. All right, let's see. I'm gonna try and go live on TikTok. They'll ban me warn me pretty quickly that I am breaking the rules for smoking on camera. All right. Come on now. We'll just do Mellow Monday for the title. I got a picture of me with longer hair. I'll keep it. Why not? Anyway, where are you guys from? Oh, wait, we got Sweet Street Justice. That's quite a name. I can hear you really well. That's awesome. Yeah, but if I'd run like the heat gun before, because I'm not running one right now, but if I ran like the heat gun, oh my gosh, it was horrible. But that's really cool. But your name is absolutely wild. I used to, back way in the chat room days, would see that, well, names like that pop up. That's funny. All right, where's my heat gun at? Oh, I got the camera turned around the wrong way. Come on, let's get it together, kiddo. There we go. And then, all right, I think we're good. Okay. Yeah. Sweet Street Justice. Oh man, heavens to Betsy. Okay, I'm actually gonna try and straighten out this stick tonight, I think. And I gotta get this plugged in up and above me, so bear with me while I plug this thing in all the way up here. All right. There we go. And I'm actually doing this to see how well I can, how well this microphone works. Because this was I was doing a lot of hand sanding. And hand sanding, it's surprisingly very noisy on camera. But the Dremel I thought would be a lot louder. Either way, the heat gun, that was ridiculous. It was almost like, what in the world is causing that to pick up that much noise? But it was, and it was loud. Well, we got a lot of people here. Hey guys, I'm Rachel. I'm out of Detroit, and this is Forge the Femme Live. And I'm just kind of having a mellow Monday right now. I'm a little scatterbrained, so I decided to just do with whatever goes with me. And originally was like, I'm not gonna go live, I'm gonna kind of just be mellow. And then I was like, I'm really gonna go live because I really want to talk to you guys. But I have lost my cigar. There it is. You guys get to see me in rare form tonight. Sober as a judge, I might add too. All right, let me get a towel in the vise, and then I will start trying to straighten this puppy out. Let's see. Put that there. You go there. All right. Dylan, hello. Remember me from yesterday? Yes, we talked quite a bit yesterday. How are you? Okay, I'm as crazy as ever. And this is, I don't know about you guys, but I like shop towels that are literally old towels. And I get them from like elderly relatives and whatnot. And they're like, well, they don't make them that well anymore. Or if they do, I don't know where to buy them. But these are towels that have been washed and dried for, many, many, many months, years, whatever. And, oh, let me get that. But they have like the most fantastic absorbency rate. And I used to get the red shop towels, like you guys would see like mechanics have it and whatnot. And I started to kind of shy away from them because I don't know where to get those nice red shop towels that have a fairly good absorbency rate. The ones they have now are like, I don't know, they just don't really absorb all that well. I don't know why either. All the TikTokers out there, hello, how's it going? I am Rachel. I am out of Detroit. This is Forge the Femme Live. I feel like I'm doing live from Detroit. It is Forge the Femme. That's how I feel right now. How do I feel now? Because this thing is really loud otherwise. like no microphone, but with a microphone, how do I sound, guys? How am I coming in? What do you think, guys? That's a really bad movie quote. If anybody gets that quote I just said from a movie, you get the high five of the day. I am always dropping really bad movie quotes. Some people get them, some people don't. On TikTok, it says, "Hi, I'm Wavy. Hi, I'm Rachel." All right. I don't know what that is. Oh, no, I don't know. I'm not doing that. And then when it comes to the secret of straightening sticks, the big secret, the first one, the stick has to be very thoroughly cured. And you know what? You guys can't even see what I'm doing. It looks like I'm just babbling like a lunatic. I mean, I am a lunatic, but you know, I don't want to be completely crazy. So you got to have a very thoroughly seasoned stick, which this is. This has been seasoning for, gosh, probably a better part of a year, I'd imagine. Somewhere around there. And then once it's thoroughly seasoned, you can start straightening it out. And we'll see if this thing has any compromises in it. Sometimes you just don't know until it's time to start working on it. And I've had a few snap on me. I actually had some snap on alive not long ago when I was making a shillelagh. Actually, where is it? Right here. I'll show you guys the one I made. This is actually a shillelagh I made on alive from a maple stick. And it snapped. You can see the bark. Yep, made this thing, well, basically it's going to be a yard decoration or something I hang in my shed or something. And you just you never know with sticks where it's going to compromise that. And that one shows the compromise right there, apparently. There's some people that will like steam sticks. I have never done that. Some of them will build like an entire steaming apparatus. Like I said, I've never dabbled with that, so I don't really have much experience on that. It always kind of sketched me out because steam can get in there and can be quite volatile. And I always thought it would like potentially, I don't know, like get in there and like break up and cause fractures or something. Checking in the grains. Okay, I don't know if you guys can see, but I'm like bending this, and I can hear a little bit of bark cracking, so that means I gotta slow it down a little bit. And as I do this, wait till it gets cold, basically. And basically what I'm doing is it's actually like reprogramming the structure of the branch that this came from. This has actually been quite easy to bend. That's pretty wild. They're not always this easy to bend. But no, this one's proven to be pretty dadgum cool, to be completely honest. Oh, and it cracked. Let's see if it fractured it. Hang on. And it did. And this is actually quite interesting. I'm actually gonna, oh, you can see, if you guys can, this thing fractured all the way around just now. Like all the way around it. I'll show you guys over here. It's got a big fracture right there. Check, whatever you want to call it, crack. And it looks like this might have been hit by a type of beetle. So because of that, I'm actually going to break this now and do some investigative demolition. And we shall see what actually happened here. So I'm going to put this, actually I'm going to get this out of the way. And then let's get this in the vise. And that's just the way it goes with sticks sometimes. Sometimes you're just going to snap them, and there's not much you can do about it. It's just the way it is, like I said. And there was what looked like I said, that why I said a beetle is it looks like there's some sawdust in there. And that can be a sign of like an ambrosia beetle. And I believe this is a fruit, I can't remember what species. But those are, especially when they're like very freshly cut, it's the right time of year for them. The ambrosia beetles can come in and they will just wreak havoc on fruit woods. And that's how I lost pretty much all my mulberry. So let's see. Okay, there we go. Can you guys see any of that dust? Let me get a drink of water. Let's bring this in. Okay, I'm gonna try and bring this down a little bit. I can't zoom in, unfortunately. Actually, you know what? Let's try something. Hey, give me that recorder. This is going over like a ton of bricks so far. You can see my messy workbench. I was supposed to clean that today, and I didn't, because I am a nunsky. But I'll see if I can show you guys what's happening here. And I was hoping this wasn't it, but this is it. And this is a sign of some kind of beetle larva or something got in there. And it wreaked havoc on the grain structure. And you can't always tell sometimes until, well, you're making a stick. Sometimes you can see like where the beetle was like digging in and stuff like that. And this one, you actually could not. So let's move the chair. Okay, if you can see, let's see right here. Try and get you guys all up close. I know it keeps falling. I apologize. I'm usually a better host than this. Okay, all right, so you can see. There we go. If you can see any of that sawdust coming out, like it's, let me see if I can get some in my hand. All right. Here's a little tiniest bit. And that is from a beetle. So I'm going to crack it. See what this does. Yep. If you guys saw that burst out like confetti, that is from a beetle. And there's nothing you can do about it when it happens. And I actually don't know what kind of wood this is. It has a very interesting smell to it. But there you go. Here's a stick that was completely destroyed by some kind of critter, some kind of little, I don't know, some kind of larvae. My assumption is the ambrosia beetle. I think some call them fence post beetles or something. I don't know. But this thing has not a ton, not like my mulberries. Oh my goodness, those are full to the brim with sawdust. But you can see a little bit. Nah, you really can't. But there's just some voids in there. And some of them voids, I am under sneaking suspicion that these are actually from ambrosia beetles. And I don't know if that's the case, like I said, but from my previous experience, that was not a fun experience where I lost a lot of sticks. Those were ambrosia beetles, and it kind of reminded me of that. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Oh, that's the wrong one. All right, now I'll put you guys back where you came from. Look at all the sharp stuff while I do it. Come on. Okay. So now you got to see what happens when nature gets to have its way with your sticks. And you just got to blow it off, keep going. It's just the only way you can handle it. And there's some that get really like emotionally attached to their sticks. And I get it. I definitely do. I used to be very attached to everything I used to make. And it was all just, it was so special to me. And then I had to get to a point where I had to get over it. You know, you just can't be attached to too many things. I mean, I guess you could. I don't think it's a good idea. It can, in my opinion, it can stifle creativity. You'll get too hell-bent on one thing. And instead of just being so worried about making mistakes all the time, you'll understand that mistakes will happen. And you'll understand that you'll have piles of mistakes that will override your successes. And this is one of those where it's another mistake, and I'll just have to keep going. You know, it's like this right here, the saving grace on this shillelagh I made from a maple tree. Actually, I got this from my backyard. Is I'll actually put this up as like shop decor somewhere. So that's pretty cool. Or like maybe I'll like hang it in my house or something like that. Like it's still extremely rough. If you can tell, yeah, it's still very rough. It's still got like the rasping grooves on it and whatnot. But yeah, so it's just the way the cookie crumbled on that one. I mean, a blowtorch. This is my favorite way to light a cigar, bar none. Not even kidding. All right. So we got one stick down that broke. Where's that other one I had right here? And like I said, I don't know if you guys heard earlier, I'm actually going to make this for my nephew. I made his parents some really nice walking sticks, and they like to go hiking a lot. And this is actually the one I thought would be the better choice anyway. So this might actually be his little stick. So I'm going to I might even keep this in and just cut it down a little bit like right here. Well, sorry, you guys can't see, but cut it like a little bit like right here. Maybe do some sanding, and then I'll have to shorten it. This one, what kind of species was this? Can I see the... I'm not sure what this one was. I think this was actually mulberry, and this might be the one for him. I think it'll work. It's actually really, like, as spindly and skinny as this is, with all the spikes and stuff. They're not really spikes, but you know what I mean, like little thorniness. It's actually like really quite strong. I weigh over 200 pounds, so I'm not light. And let's see, I thought I had another stick out here that was another potential for him, since I broke the other one. I wonder if this was it. This could have been it. This is one I made a long time ago. Oh no, you can actually see where there was some beetle damage on there. You can see like that little trail right there. And then also if you look a little bit right here, you can see how it kind of got hollow, like right, it's really hard to focus in, but it got a little bit hollow right there. And that is actually, that's from ambrosia beetles. And yeah, those things are little buggers, let me tell you. But no, I don't know. That's actually not a bad one for him either. I mean, he's only like a year and a half old, so he doesn't need like a giant stick or anything like that. Well, 34, you guys. Hi, I'm Rachel out of Detroit. This is Forge Femme, and I am babbling on a Mellow Monday about a walking stick I should be making for my nephew. I just can't seem to find the stick I thought I had set aside for him. Because I did lose a bunch of sticks, like a lot, like 100. And now I'm just kind of like, I got one right here that might work. This is actually kind of a whimsical one too. This is another one that's been sitting a long time. I mean, this is much too tall for the little guy, but let's see if I can get it to, oh yeah, that's thoroughly seasoned. This might become his new one. Let's see if we can straighten this guy out. That, I think this is actually the same species of the one that was hit with the beetles, and we'll see if this one was too. Sometimes you can see like beetle entry holes. You don't really see them so much on this. I see what might be, but I'm not sold that's what it is yet, so we'll try it. All right. Get it in a vise, and I'll be heating it up with my heat gun. All right. And here we go. And it's not really like a crazy thing. I just get it warm and bend it and hold it straight. And when you do that, it actually is like reprogramming the growth, the grain, whatever you want to call it, the rings of the stick, the DNA, the very fibers of its being. And let's see what we can get with this. I'm gonna have some water while I do this too. I'll also be, at some point, talking about this big old hunk of steel. Oh, we got sound going. This big old hunk of steel. This is actually a project that is soon to be made into a Bowie knife. Ashes all over the place. And this is honestly like how I straighten out my sticks. Like it's not a magic trick or anything. And I'll take this crazy, gnarly, all weaving and winding stick, and hopefully we'll get this thing bent somewhat straight. It's pretty cool to straighten out a stick. It seems kind of like a silly, like, well, yeah, that's obvious. But it's actually, when you're doing it, you gotta kind of like read the grain. And it's like you'll look at it and you'll see it going all these ways. And then you'll get it to where it's all straight this way, but if you turn it 90 degrees, you'll see it's all straight or curving this way. So you got to look at it from multiple perspectives to get that perfect straightness, or as straight as you can possibly get it. Let's see if I can get this a little bit tighter, and I might even be able to bend that straighter. Let's see. We'll try and bend this down a little bit. Let's see if I can get it to hold like right there. I don't know if you guys can see me bending this thing, but I'm definitely putting some tweaking on it. Uh-oh, I think this one might have been damaged too. I don't know. We'll see how this guy plays out. I might even just straighten this just to see if I can get it straight. You gotta wait for it to cool down, and that's usually when it's reprogrammed, so to speak. So that came through pretty good. You can see now this is straight. Now this curve right here, how it goes like this, I'm gonna now pull it that way. I'll show you guys when I'm done. Okay. Let's see here. Gotta get it in there kind of wonky. Janky wonky like. Okay. Let's see what we can do with this. And this will be like just pulling it straight back at me. And there, sometimes you gotta straighten out some like beastly sticks, which I don't really have any that are like that right now. I don't think. And those actually, I need to get like a better system because it's completely ridiculous when I try straightening those things. It's a really good workout though, I'll tell you what. Like you just like push and hold or like pull and hold, and that static motion is absolutely incredible. Great for back muscles, chest muscles, shoulders. All right. Let's see how long that is. Getting there. All right. Since this is a smaller stick, it don't take a whole lot of heat to get it going. Okay. All right. That actually did pretty good. And then sometimes I'll even move my hand down a little bit, as you just saw. And when I do that, that allows for more of a sweep instead of like a direct pull. And that more of a sweeping pull can actually be a nice way to straighten it out. Let's see. Yeah, it's pretty close. Let's see. Now you can see that's straight. I can't get this much straighter. That's just going to have to be the way it is. But there we are. Now it's coming in. And now this has got to go that way. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to put it in. And we're going to do the same thing we just did. And that's how you straighten a stick. At least that's how we do it at Forge the Femme. More than one way to skin a cat, as they say. And this is me skinning a cat. Let's see what's going on Instagram. Everybody's pretty quiet over here on TikTok. They might be pretty quiet over there on Instagram too. But hey, let's give them a shout. By the way, how am I coming in with this microphone and the heat gun? Is the heat gun overpowering, or is it kind of like ambient background sound? Let me know in the comments. Okay. Now we're going to go live here. Some way, somehow. Let's put it. Bending sticks. There we go. And let's go. All right, that is definitely good and warm. That's the good thing about working with slender sticks, is it can straighten out or get warm quick. All right. And if it heats up quick, it also will cool down quick. So this thing is pretty close. I'll do a little bit more. I don't want to go too far because you can snap these things. All right. And look a little bit further. When you get greedy, trying to go a little bit further, that's when you can start snapping them. And I've done it plenty of times. Okay. So now you're seeing it's getting there. It's even more straight than it was. So here we are. Now we got to get this bow out. So now you can see where that bow is. I'm actually gonna pull it from like right here because it kind of has a little bit of an S curve. So I'm gonna put this back in, heat this back up. Okay. Wow, hey, how's it going over there? Fletch TV 2, how's it going? Over on Instagram. All right. Let's see how this guy works now. Now we're just going to do a little bit. It doesn't need a lot. This just needs a little bit. There wasn't a whole lot going on with this bend. It was a pretty mild bend, to be completely honest. Where are you guys coming out of tonight, by the way? You know, like I said, I'm from Detroit, and I always like to hear where people are from. Every now and again, I'll get people from far off lands. TikTok, late at night, you get the most interaction from people from far off lands. That's super fun. Not long ago, I had a couple Nigerians hanging out we were talking soccer and all that good stuff. You could see these guys were some pretty serious athletes, and they knew their stuff, that's for sure. They were no strangers to a soccer pitch. Okay, now back again. And this is how you straighten your stick, just over and over, rinse and repeat constantly. Sometimes you can kind of kill two birds with one stone by getting a good portion of it heated up. Not always, but sometimes. That's what I'm gonna try and do on this one. We'll see what can happen. What may happen? What this can bring? What dreams may come? All right, let's see what we can do here. So I gotta pull it back this way, and also try and bend it down. So back and down. Now I'm getting serious, so I gotta put the stogie down. Let's see if I can get this. This is actually holding it like this. It's beating the brakes off my forearm right now. All right, that actually feels like it did pretty good. All right, we'll say that's pretty good, and then we'll get this back in there real quick, and then we're gonna pull it back. I'm gonna now pull it this way to get this big bend out of there. Let's actually turn this down for you guys a tiny bit. Hang on. There we go. Okay. And back to the cigar. There we go. There we go, that's a little better. Let's see where we're at. Now with the bigger sticks, I'm used to, you gotta like hold that heat gun on there for a while sometimes. That's actually, I'm now trying to bend it like also in the vise, but also using my hand as like a fulcrum point to try and get that bend going. Now I'm gonna hold it here until it cools down, and that hopefully will reprogram it. That's my goal, at least. That's my hope. All right, let's show you. So now I'm going to look down it. I ended up looking down the stick at some point, and you guys can see it's getting there. It's getting pretty straight. Not completely, but it's getting there. I still got a couple ways I could straighten it out, like right here, this bend. I'm going to take that out now. And I'm going to, how am I going to address that? We're going to take that, we're going to pull it towards me. Oh, I gotta loosen up the rice. All right, let's do this. Like I said, it's a lot of fun to do this on my end. I don't know how it is for you guys, but for me, it's pretty rad, to be honest. Let me move my shillelagh, my broken shillelagh out of the way. All right. How did I just do? Hey, how am I coming in, by the way? I had a slow connection warning earlier, and hopefully I'm coming in better than I was, if you guys can tell. Oh, did I go the wrong way on that? Oh, I might have a little bit. Let's see. Oh, there we go. All right. Just gonna grab and pull and hold, and that's all we're doing. All right, now let's see. I'm getting there, slowly but surely. So now we're gonna go for this one right here. That's a little bit of a bend. Hard to tell on camera, it looks like, but this is where I'm gonna bend it. I'm gonna pull it this way now. Or actually, I'm gonna pull it backwards, but you get me. Same difference. It all gets straightened out in the end, right? Okay. I think I just heard my dog barking. Tobacco in my mouth? What the heck? and then straighten it out. And when I'm all done with this, I like to start sanding it. And sanding the bark is where it starts to get really nice. You can actually see like different colors coming out. It's one of my favorite parts of actually the stick making process is getting it all nice and sanded. Let's see. Oh, I still got a little bit, being a little bit stubborn on here. I gotta, if you can see, I gotta bend right here. I'm gonna try and actually bend this way. Let's see where that brings us. And this is the way it goes. You just, as you read the stick, you just see where it goes. And as you straighten it one way, like I said, you gotta turn it, and you'll see it'll be a bend in another direction, and then you gotta address that. And it's kind of a back and forth as you go around the stick. It also could have been for me overcorrecting when I was bending. I might have straightened it a little too much, overcorrected it. Okay, let's see what that does now. There we go. That looks better. At least it does for me. I'll do kind of something like this. That's a lot straighter now. Look at that. Not too shabby after a few minutes of work. And I'm actually going to cut this somewhere up here anyway. Like I said, this is going to be for just a wee little toddler, my nephew. And actually, I'm not sure this will. This one looks like it was compromised. This might have some beetle damage in it as well. I don't know if you guys can tell, but in there, it looks a little sawdusty, and it looks like there's a crack in there. And that crack, and there's some more sawdusty looking stuff right there. And that stuff is where you're usually going to run into compromises. So because of that, we're just going to break this stick, I think. Or, I don't know. Yeah, you know what? This one's a little wobbly, so we're going to break this one. So here's another destructive test. All right. You guys ready? Let's do a countdown. 3, 2, 1. Let's see. There we go. Did you guys see the sawdust snap out? I did. And that's a sign that it was compromised. And this was compromised through the bark. It might not have been severe, but I didn't trust it. I didn't have a good feeling. It was a little too wobbly, and I would not want my nephew having a walking stick when he gets his sea legs on him, and you know, we're to blow out on him. So that one's toast. That's 2. It's actually the same species, which makes me curious of what this is. I don't always know what the sticks are I'm making my sticks out of. Let's see. Let's break another one where it's compromised right here. Let's see. All right, and 3, 2, 1. Did you guys see that sawdust? I hope you guys are seeing that. It's pretty cool to see it, at least it is for me. Yep. And all the way, it's hard to tell, but all the way around the bark, there's sawdust in there. And that is some kind of little critter got in there and was, you know, eating up the bark, or eating up the sapwood. So these sticks are no bueno, and they have become, effectively, firewood. All right. Yep. I even got some sawdust on my finger. Yep, and that's coming from some little critter that got in there and was, yeah, eating it. He didn't get too far, but got far enough to make me not trust it. All right, so let's see what else I got. This is a cute one right here. Might be a fun one too. And this one does not look compromised like the last 2 have been. This one though, I think I might have straightened this already and hung it up. I'm not sure. That's a strong stick right there. I wish I knew what species this was. Like I said, I don't always know the species of the sticks I make. Some yes, but not always. And this one, if I were to make a little ball end on it, it'd be just a little one, just a tiny little one for a little guy's little hands. That's all it would be. We're going to look at this down the stick. And you know what? I'm actually going to stop talking about sticks for a minute. I'm a bit bored. I've gone stick crazy over here. So, alright. I'm actually going to finish this cigar, talk a little longer, and that'll be the end of our night tonight together. So this, like I was saying, is going to be a Bowie knife. This is a Bowie knife. You just don't know it yet. And this is actually a bar of steel that I got from a show on History Channel called Forged in Fire. I was on the show. I made it to the final round, and this is the bar of steel. Well, they gave me a really big bar of steel. It's like 4 feet long. And this is just a piece of that steel. And this will be a knife that will be made for a guy that came across my episode, actually just a couple days ago. And he is pretty excited and said he always wanted a Bowie. So I have an idea for a gentleman's Bowie, as some call it, or a vest Bowie. And I want to do like a coffin handle and with like a wrought iron guard, that kind of thing. And I think it'll be really cool. I'm going to do more of a, I'm going to try to go for like more like 1800 style Bowie. Kind of like, I don't know, in my mind, I'm thinking like the Old West style. And I don't even know how far west the Bowie knife made it truly at that time in that fashion. So it might be a little out of date, but hey, does it really have to be period correct all the time? No. Some will say yes. I disagree. And you know what? I'm the one making it. So I'm inspired by the Bowie knife. How about that? And actually, some cool history about the Bowie. There's some interesting history about this Bowie in a lot of ways. Part of it is the knife that I think it was John Bowie carried. He did not carry the knife that we think of today as a Bowie. His, like, okay, this is a big ass knife, but this is a modern, very Americanized Bowie knife with a lot of Jason Knight influence on it. And Jason Knight kind of reinvented the modern American knife in a lot of ways. And this is a prime example. This is, you know, I made this off one of his videos, actually. I watched it and went outside and started banging on some hot steel, and there we go. But the Bowie knife, his brother wrote about his knife he carried, because I believe Mr. Bowie was killed at Alamo. I could be wrong, but I think he was killed at the Alamo. But the one he carried looked more like, if you can say it this way, like a French kitchen knife, but it was much heavier duty, but it still had that like more triangular shape, which in a way comes from the inspiration that some say that Bowie evolved from, which is the continental sax, as some will call it, the sax knife that you'll see. Like sometimes they'll have some with like Scandinavians. There were the Anglo-Saxons that had one that was a variant. There were some other Germanic cultures that had one. And, you know, as they moved west, they brought their cutlery and they evolved it as they came west and eventually across the ocean and into America. And I don't think I have seen a picture of the real Bowie that he carried. I don't think it was ever recovered. I think that might have been lost in battle. Like I said, I think he was killed at the Alamo. But either way, the one I'll be making will be, hopefully it'll do that one justice. But I'm not sure if I'm doing like a fixed tang, or I'm sorry, a hidden tang, or like a like undersized handles. I'll show you that if you guys don't know what undersized handles are. It's not the best example, but it'll work. You can see like how there's still steel above the top of the handle, and there's still some like steel below the handle right here. That is what you call undersized handles. And that's the way people will make them. For one, their style, but two, there's also atmospheric pressure that causes things to shrink and swell. And some of them can swell up to the point where it looks like it actually fit the tang originally. And then there are times where it'll shrink and be significantly smaller, in fact. And I think I'm thinking I might do a hidden tang though, because I've never done something called museum fit, and that's what I want to do. A museum fit's really nice. It's like a slightly larger than the piece it's joined to. Like if I take it and put it against like a spacer, it'll be a little bit bigger than the spacer, and that allows for shrinking and swelling. Like I was saying, and if it shrinks, it'll be more at the size of the piece in front of it, and it gives it a more aesthetically appealing look. At least I feel it does. A lot of other people do too. And that's the way the fine makers of yesteryear have made their knives. Swords, all kinds of hand tools, and hopefully I'll be continuing that tradition and doing it service, or doing it well, doing it justice. That's the word. My cigar went out again. All right. And the wrought iron I'll be using, I think, is going to be, trying to stand these things up is impossible, those blowtorches. But the wrought iron I'll be using, I'm not sure what it's going to be yet. It's going to likely be a chain link. I wonder if I have one over here. I have a lot of wrought iron now, like more than I'll probably ever use in my lifetime. I don't know. Well, if you guys can actually see, I'll show you. There we are. I don't like getting my hands rusty. Go figure, blacksmith. I don't like getting their hands rusty. I hate the feeling of rust on my hands. But I'll show you the chain I'll probably be making it out of. It'll be this chain right here. This big old heavy boat chain. And it's all solid wrought iron, however you want to pronounce it. And it could be that, but I also have, okay, let's get the towel out so I don't get the rust on my hands. I might also use, this is a gigantic chain link as well. I don't want to touch it. Yeah, I'm a sissy. But this right here is a gigantic piece of wrought iron. For me, it's gigantic. And it's from originally a length that was, well, a little bit wider than this, but about this length. I have the rest of it actually down in there. You heard it clanking around. But I'm not sure yet. I don't have any emotional attachment to any of it, so I don't have any cool backstories or anything. Like that big link I actually got at, I think, an estate sale. And the other chain I got back there that I just showed you, I got that at just a local scrapyard. But I got it for $10, and it's about 60 pounds of wrought iron. And that was pretty cool, because they haven't made wrought iron since the 1850s. And it can cost a lot of money. So yeah, we shall see what I make it from. Maybe I'll do a live feed the day I, start making the thing for it. Over here, on YouTube, Noah Thompson. Hello, Noah. I'm just over here talking about a knife build I have coming up, a Bowie knife. And I'm going to be making it from this bar of steel. And this is the bar of steel I got from my days on Forged in Fire, the final build. The actual piece they gave me, because it's been hammered down a little bit, was, I think, 4 feet long and like 6 inches tall. It was way more steel than I would ever use for the show. And I actually still have a lot of it somewhere else. I can't remember where, but whenever I see it, I'm always like, oh yeah, it's that big hunk of steel they gave me. But yeah, so I've just been talking about like the history of the Bowie knife and why I'm choosing the design I'm going after. I'm trying to, in my mind, what I'm picturing is kind of like a into the West style Bowie knife, what some will call a vest Bowie. It was a pretty cool thing where guys would, well, at least through fiction at minimum, they would have one in their vest, and it'd be, take out and kind of like a skiing do, like last line of defense, or even just to have a knife on you. A really nice one, and I want to have like I think I have like a 5-inch blade on it, something like that. I think that'll be pretty rad. Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. The guy actually that is wanting it made, he wants like a chaos star carved into the handle and dyed purple. So I'm going to see about doing that. I have an idea of how I'm going to make it happen. So I'm pretty stoked about trying something like that. I've never done anything like it. So, well, hopefully this will be a success. How are you doing, Noah? All right. Actually, I could start tearing up some. Oh, yeah. I don't know what I'm going to do with that yet. I'm going to start tearing up some sandpaper. I got this super rad new sandpaper. You ever do anything for like making things, you need to sand it? I came across this sandpaper called Cubitron, and the name is completely hilariously like Transformers. At least that's what comes to mind for me, because I grew up with them as a kid. But it's called Cubitron, and yeah. It's actually really awesome. It's worth its weight, in my opinion. Let's see. This looks like, that's 120. That's why it looks different. And the thing about Cubitron from 3M is all of their sandpaper is purple. And I'm trying to match it up right now to make sure I don't mix up my grits, because I mix them up like a total nerd. But it doesn't fall apart as easily as the other stuff did. Okay, all right, we're in good shape now. The other stuff I was using was it just fell apart so quickly in my hands, and it would cause like terrible gouges in the steel. And it actually, on this gut hook knife I was working on, like this is the side that's not sanded. This is the side I've been sanding with it. I had to like last night. I had to like really work at getting some gouges out from just really poor stuff. Like it was not fun. But anyway, last night proved this Cubitron sandpaper is fantastic stuff. So I'm pretty excited to be having this in my grasp now. I learned about it just yesterday. Stumbled across it when I was at Menards and did some real quick, research, and it was supposed to say, or it was saying, it'll be a game changer, and it actually was. I was really excited about that. It's always cool when that stuff happens and it surprises you. It's not just a gimmick, because I was like, oh man, this sounds kind of gimmicky. The name's Cubitron. No, it's pretty rad. All right, and then we got Gianna Spalding. Hi, hello. DJ Puckett. Hello again from Wyoming. There's a knife maker in Wyoming. There's two that I'd love to have knives from. One is a master smith named James Rodabaugh. He makes really awesome Bowie knives, American style. And then there is a guy named Chris Reeves, and he makes the CRKs. The Sabenza, that's his claim to fame. Nope. Oh, I am so wrong. He's in Idaho, not Wyoming. Not too far from you, though. Gianna Spalding says, I am from North Carolina. Hey, I'm from Detroit, Michigan. And what is it about North Carolina? You guys like barbecue sauce. I love the vinegar and mustard barbecue sauces that you guys have down there. Man, is that good. I had one from Wilmington, I think it was. And it is called Big Oak. And it's a vinegar sauce. And oh my goodness, is that amazing. It's so good. Because my friend got it for me on a trip down to Cape Fear. And he goes, this, by the way, is what they consider barbecue sauce. And we had it on like chicken or something like that. And I was just kind of like, oh my gosh, that is incredible. And we liked it so much, we actually have ordered it from now like 2 times. But like a whole case. So like we get like 12 bottles when we ordered it. And we would blow through that stuff so fast. It is so good. We don't have anything like that up here. Here you go. My cigar keeps going out on me. But I'm not about to try bananas and mayonnaise sandwiches. What is it? Banana, mayonnaise, and sugar? Do you eat those? I like Duke's. Like, that's my mayonnaise of choice. But man, that banana sandwich just, no, it turns my stomach. My friends down there say, don't knock it till you try it. But it just gives me the willies even thinking about it. All right, let's set you down over here. Okay, so those are the ones I have torn up thus far. I need to tear up 2 more grits, so I'll have them. So, get my old grandma shop towels out of the way. I love old grandma towels because I turn them into shop towels, and they are the most fantastic thing I have ever used for a shop towel, and they just absorb everything, and they make me a happy panda. And yeah, I'm a happy panda. Okay, let's start doing the fun stuff. Gianna Spalding, have a fantastic night. Adios. The heck? I don't know, I'm out of sorts tonight. I'm having a wacky night, so of course I go live. Why wouldn't I? Makes sense, right? Made sense to me. That's why I'm here. That is one awkward tear. Whatever. An interesting thing about this sandpaper is, like, if you can see, you see that, like, web? I've never seen it before on sandpaper. It's so creepy looking to me. Like tearing skin is what it reminded me of. I always say this. I need to have a cigar rest, and I've still never made one. I got a good size steel for it too, so I'm gonna have to like stop talking and just start making them. You know what I mean? I'm always out here complaining, and I'm always using my vice, and I mean it works, but it's like one of those like there's things that could work so much better. Look at that. Look at that big film right there. It's so gross. Oh, they gave you guys the willies. What gave me the willies? Oh, everybody that just showed up. Hi, I am Rachel, and I am out of Detroit, Michigan, and I am tearing up sandpaper, and I am so happy you could follow along as I tear up sandpaper for the coming project I have, which is a Bowie knife. And the Bowie knife, this is the Bowie knife. Believe it or not, that will become one. Big old hunk of 5160. All right, and this is actually 220 grit. and sticking with the 3M, what do they call this? Pro Power something? Pro Grade Precision, that's what they call it. And it's Cubitron Performance Abrasives. And I gotta say, I gotta hand it to them. Cubitron is freaking amazing sandpaper. I am wholeheartedly impressed by it. I didn't expect that. No, it's really good. My research proved to be true, and it's not a gimmick at all. And it's not cheap. You get 3 sheets for actually a bit more than, like, say, the 5-pack, the aluminum zirconium. But it's faster, and it's like I still ended up using even less than I would have with the other stuff, the crushed material. And I guess that's what separates this from the aluminum zirconium, is aluminum zirconium, which is the sander stuff I use for the lower grits. It is, how do I word this? Well, it's crushed material, and it clogs up easily, and it's just really not like the best stuff. I mean, it got me by for a long time, don't get me wrong, for years. And I don't actually think Cubitron is all that new, but it is new to me, so I'm like super excited. And I've been talking about sandpaper now for 2 days. That's how excited I am about this. Oh, come on, there we go. All right, there's a sheet of 220 all torn up, ready to go into strips. And this, like, I'll take it and I'll like wrap it around a piece of wood and I'll use it as my sanding block. It works really good too. But there are really cool hand sanding, like, 2-handers. I need to get one of those. Those are pretty rad. Alrighty. And let's do the same thing with this. And I don't actually sand above 400 grit. I don't like, not a fan of anything that's much more than 400. 400 to me keeps it at a nice satiny vibe. Anything after that, it starts to get more like, kind of like mirror polish. I don't like mirror polish really anything. Given the choice, I avoid it like the plague. So, yeah. And then this is about the same color as the 220. Actually, let's see if there's much difference between them. This is 220. This is 320. You can see there is a bit. This one's kind of like a lavender. This is a little bit, I don't know. They're both kind of lavender. What was it? There's a touring thing that came through the Henry Ford Museum nearby me. And it was cool because it was cars and guitars. That's what it was. I believe it was called, or guitars and cars, something like that. But it was all musicians, famous ones, like James Hetfield from Metallica, and I can't remember any of the other ones actually, but they had like really cool cars and really cool guitars. And James Hetfield is the one that actually it always stuck in my memory because he had, for one, extremely nice car there. I can't remember what it was. I want to say it was like, well, 40s. I'd say probably late 40s, maybe mid to 40s even. And this thing was like slammed to the ground. Nice chrome. His guitar was there. It was a matching paint job to his car. And it was all sparkly lavender, the guitar and the car. And if I ever meet James Hetfield, I just want to ask him, like, what's the deal with the lavender color? You don't usually see, metal guys with such feminine colors. And I hope he has some, like, really funny explanation. If he just says, I like the color, that'll be kind of a... I always like some kind of story to go with. Oddities. But needless to say, that car he had, I don't know if he still does, what a absolutely fantastic job that was done on that. Whoever did it, really a nice job. He might even still have it. You could probably look it up. And also the Henry Ford Museum, if you ever get a chance, it's in Dearborn, Michigan, and it was set up by Henry Ford. It is absolutely incredible. It is one of the most amazing museums. It might be the most amazing museum I've ever actually been to, especially if you're into mechanization, which I love anything mechanical. And they have tons of stuff from the Industrial Revolution. They have flywheels that are 30 feet tall, like 15 feet above ground and 15 feet in the ground. And they still run, and it's absolutely incredible. And They have old steam engines there, and those are, when I was a little kid, because I grew up in the area, that's where we would always go for field trips and stuff. And I just always remember being so taken by the steam engines. They are absolutely beautiful and humongous. Like, I'm sure train engines today are still, probably as big, but I don't know. The ones at Henry Ford Museum, they were just another level. And then they had that old-fashioned artisanship in it, and it just, it's so cool. And actually, Henry Ford had his own train. It was a full train. He had like a sleeping car, he had a dinner car, and he would use it, and he'd travel across country, and that is how he would be able to continue working. As he traveled, he'd have business meetings on there. He has a big, meeting room and everything. And you can still see it. It's pretty dang cool. And they have, what's another cool one? Oh, they have one of the Oscar Mayer mobiles. That's always pretty cool to see. They have the car that President Kennedy was assassinated in. I think they have Nixon's presidential Cadillac, or I think it was a Cadillac. And I think they also have Ford. I think they have Ford's presidential. I think he had a Lincoln. I think Ford was in a Lincoln. But yep, they have, I believe, 3 presidential vehicles, limousines, and that's pretty cool. They have one of the very first, I think it might be the very first Ford Taurus ever made. It's this really wild orange color, kind of like actually the color of Detroit Tigers D. And it was put in the museum because it was considered like an absolute mega feat of engineering, and Ford went in partnership with NASA to design it. And it was just one of those things they were really proud of. They have the GT40 that Ford beat Ferrari with in Le Mans, which is actually, I don't know if you guys know the story about the GT40 and why it was created, but hang on. Gotta wind this up. So the story of the Ford GT40, or Ford GT, I think it was GT40, yeah, GT40. The idea of it was, if I recall, Ferrari, and it wasn't Henry Ford, I don't recall. I think it was Henry Ford, the grandson? Anyway, got chatting with one of the Ferrari owners, and basically they got to the point of Ferrari saying, if you can beat us at Le Mans, you can buy us. They actually made a movie about this, but it was, if you can beat us at Le Mans, you can buy our company. And Ford goes, you got that. I'm doing it. And they got hard at work, and they created the GT40. Le Mans comes up, they beat Ferrari, and Ferrari would not sell to Ford. And some people kind of hold that against Ferrari to this day, and understandably so, really. But that is a true story. A pretty cool one. One of the fun ones for the motorheads out there that like automotive history. Ford also came out with one in the late 90s, I think, called the GT90. And I think they only made 4. I don't even know if they made that many, to be honest. They might have only made 2. But it was this really beautiful white color, like a color white you don't see very often. And the design was so futuristic, especially for its time. It still is even today. And it had these like really cool rims with like blue like spinners, kind of like what you'd see on chariots of yesteryear, like Roman Empire yesteryear. And they have that there. That thing is really cool to see up close and personal. That thing's far out, to be honest. And what was particularly cool was growing up in the area, you would see some of their prototypes going down around their research and development area. And when they came back out with the Ford GT back in like the 2000s, you'd see those coming out. And then they brought out the Ford GT again, I think like 10 years ago. And nope, it was probably like 8 years ago. And you'd see those flying around, and they were all like a kind of like an army green color. And they were really loud, like racing cars, like Formula One loud. And you'd see them like flying down the street around there, and it's just really cool to see these things that are prototypes that they're just driving around this little area just to get, whatever they need to get tested. And that was always exciting. And then actually, if you're coming from my neck of the woods, and you start heading towards Henry Ford Museum, you actually go by Roush Enterprise, one of his locations. And Roush and Ford, they've made all kinds of cool stuff. And like the Roush F-150, that is still one of my favorite pickups. You don't see them very often either. You'll see the Mustangs, but you don't see the trucks very often. But you'll see a lot of prototypes coming out of there too. And when they came out with the Maverick just a few years ago, I think it was 2023 they came out with it, or released it. My friend was working for Roush, and he was a supervisor, and he was actually working on the Maverick. And I remember him telling me, like, there's a new vehicle coming out from Ford. You're going to really like it. It's getting a little chilly in here. And he goes, but you'll never know what it is because it's got a cap on the back, and they'll do like zebra or dazzle camouflage to like throw off body lines and stuff. But the Mavericks, I believe, had like a zebra paint. But I remember seeing one and like taking a picture and sending it to him. He goes, yeah, that's the new vehicle. I don't think he would tell me the name of it. I can't remember. But it was being tested also at Roush. That was always pretty cool. And Roush and Ford are so thick that my friend actually met with Ford executives a few times on really big projects that they were working on with Roush. And it was just always cool to hear like what was going on behind the scenes. And you're not allowed to talk too much. You can lose your job actually because it's that secretive. But it was always cool to see him and then hear about what's going on in Ford Motor Company or Roush. But he actually did say Jack Roush was a very mean person. Like when you got hired in at Roush, they said if you see Jack, do not acknowledge him. And if you do, you'll likely lose your job. And it actually did happen when my friend was there. A guy was very excited to meet him. He was a motorhead. And he saw Jack, the man under the hat, as I call him. And he walked up to Jack and was basically like, Mr. Roush, I am so grateful to work for you. Thank you for this opportunity to, be in Roush Enterprise. And Jack stopped, didn't even look at the guy and said, whoever this guy's boss is, fire him. And he was fired. That's Jack Roush for you. Not a nice guy. Well, if you guys got any questions or any comments, let's hear them now. Throw them in the comments. Oh, we got Michael Caputo saying, what are you smoking? This is a Maker's Choice. Dominican. It's really good. Dominican Sweet. That's what it is. Sweet tip, I should say. It's a good cigar. They're my favorite. They're like my daily smoker. I actually have some vanilla versions of these. They're hanging out in the Tupperware right now. Just resting. I actually just got them in the mail a couple days ago. So they're going to hopefully rest for a couple weeks. And they should be pretty good to go after that. They're tasty too. They smell really nice. And actually, Dominicans, I'm not the biggest fan of. Sometimes I am, sometimes I'm not. My favorite nation of tobacco is actually Nicaragua. They make the best, in my opinion. And I have had real Cubans. One, actually, I should say. I've had one real Cuban. It was a Cohiba. And I got to say, it was not bad. It did not match up to the hype that they have around them. But what it did that no other cigar has ever done was cigars can give you like an acrid, like cigarettes, tobacco-y, smoky breath. And the Cuban I had did not do that, which is more interesting because Cuba is, I believe, the world's largest importer of tobacco, not exporter. And they actually import tobacco from both the Dominican Republic and Nicaragua. So the Cuban I had was likely some kind of blend of those three. But as far as I know, Cuba still says like Cuban Puro. Like they won't say like Nicaraguan or whatever. But it was not a bad cigar. It was worth trying at least once. I don't like how much they cost. Like I can just skip across the river and go into Canada because I'm right at the Detroit River. That's our international boundary. And get a Cuban. But they're still like 40, 50 bucks. And I don't really want to go to Canada. Not my jam. I've been there. It's a tradition in America when you're on the Canadian border, at least for Detroit. You when you turn 19 here, you go to Canada and get wasted. And I actually did not do that when I turned 19. I don't think I was drinking alcohol at all at the time I turned 19. I don't think I was drinking alcohol when I turned 21. I go in spurts, and those were 2 times I wasn't drinking. So I never lived up either birthday. But a friend of mine, she turned 19, and then we went all over to Canada with her. That was a lot of fun. I remember I brought a $20 bill with me, and that was about almost 25 years ago. And I remember when I put the 20 in with the exchange rate, because they got a machine right there when you get at the border, It came back $22.50. That was what I got with the exchange rate because the American dollar at the time was worth more. That was pretty cool. All right. That is enough for tonight. I'm going to finish my stogie. You guys have a great night. And I will be back live maybe Wednesday. I'm not sure yet. I'll put a little thing up. But anyway, you guys give me a like, follow, subscribe. I will be, like I said, this is going to become a Bowie knife. This Bowie knife, you just can't tell yet. But this will become one. I'm going to be forging this. I think I'm going to start forging on this tomorrow. If I can figure out how to do all the like angles and all that stuff and editing, I will be actually shooting a video of me forging it. And we shall see where things go. So, cheers, guys. Like, follow, subscribe. Rachel from Forge the Femme, out. Peace.